Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rafe Gal. We're jumping back into Kirby's Adventure for the NES. This is one of the second Kirby game overall. The first one where you could absorb powers. It's one of the last games for the NES. Really pushes the system probably harder than just about anything else. We'll see some lag as a result of that, most likely. I'm gonna do some slides here, and then wish that we had done that across the top first. Whoops. We definitely don't want Spark. Spark is super laggy. Come on. So yeah, we're on World 7 at this point, which is pretty far. There's only one more world after this. Okay. I have a feeling that we're gonna wish we had a different power. But I'm not seeing anything offhand that jumps out at me. That doesn't super lag us. Fortunately, you don't get any good rewards unless you get the very top. Okay. So, there are second exits to every stage in this world. We are probably not going to be getting them. I do like the bomb power in Superstar. I wish that it was in this game, because Crash is just obnoxious to get instead as an alternative. I believe this is the boss rush tower. Ironically, we're gonna get Crash followed by Mike, which are the two, like, screen clearing ones. Crash does 3 hits to a boss, Mike does 1 hit to a boss, or 2 hits to a boss, rather. Crap. Nope, maybe I was wrong. The damage values against bosses are really weird. I think, yeah, you just have to do, or you start at each boss. So that's less bad than it could be. So I'm noticing there's a weird glitch in the animation. That I'm noticing might be responsible for some of my weird misclicks. Such as they are. Sure, figures. Hammer followed by throw. A bunch of jerks. Throw is probably not going to be useful here, but we'll try it. And by try it, I mean use it as a free shot against this boss. Because both throw and suplex are pretty terrible. Against bosses especially. We are still gonna get the powers though, because we can, once again, all you have to do is release the star, boom, you've got a good shot. This one might actually be useful. Fireball is good. There we go. Almost got the one up that time. Hey, we got a white door. That just means there wasn't a second exit, probably. If you missed when I said that earlier, there are secret entrances. We're not going to be going for every single one just because there's so much backtracking involved to get the specific powers you need for some of them. Sleep enemies are the worst. If you accidentally eat them, you fall asleep. Oh my gosh. I'm apparently standing on nothing. That's lovely. Oh. Okay. Well, this stage is annoying. So these ledges are really, really... What the heck? Okay. These ledges are really wonky. And I wish I had laser. And apparently respawning, or those enemies respawn if you fall, like, at all. There's probably a hidden door somewhere on that screen. Okay. Wow, okay, that's not worth dealing with. I've noticed more and more that as I go on, the stages get more complicated. The more complicated I try to make the stages or my strategies in them, the worse I tend to do. there's a trick with this tornado power. If you hold the B button, it has a set duration, but if you hold the B button, it controls your height, which I did not know as a kid. So if you hold the B button the whole way through, you just constantly stay towards the top. Whereas if you let it go, you drift down and will run along the bottom. So there we go. This looks unpleasant. Okay. I actually could kind of use that one-up right about now. I mean, we are getting... This isn't... None of the levels in this game are super long. But... grab a crash just in case there's a mini-boss here. Hey, look, a mini-boss here. And as per usual, we'll grab the power just in case we need it. In this case, it doesn't look like we need it now. So those star trails are kind of misleading. It looks like it either pushes you up or down. Which I did not realize. I thought it was just like little air currents that would push you up. Okay. Let's grab a fireball and see what the... There we go. Not sure how much I care. That's probably the switch, but once again, I am out of lives and not really... I'm gonna just see if I can just crunch through the rest of this level real quick here. Because I don't know what happens when you game over in this. Okay, so this is a remake of Dreamland, the original Dreamland, except you can take powers into it. But I love the fact that they actually kept it down to the palette and the music. Match the original Game Boy game. Which is exceptionally short. I've considered playing it on a video, but it's been remade so many times in stuff like this and in Kirby Superstar and stuff like that, that I feel like I've already kind of played it. Okay. But yeah, especially the little grayed out part at the bottom is really cool looking. I am considering doing Kirby's Dream Land 2 at some point here as a video. Which is probably the one a lot of people are familiar with as far as the Game Boy versions go. So it looks like this is actually just doing like a tour of the first game. I think this is actually like each level, but it's with all the levels without the bosses, which is kind of cool. Like I said, that's a very short game. For some reason, I'm remembering this being like one of those spots where there's a weird like hidden door somewhere here. Like right here. Or right here. Can't be right there because you can see the star. Whatever. So yeah, that was basically the whole of the original game in one level. Almost. Like, minus the bosses. Which we're mostly fighting the bosses anyway. Okay, let's see what the boss is here. DDD. So I think the last one must just be the last boss fight. So I'm still totally going to restart before I do that. It is a video worth by itself. It may be a shorter video, but yeah. So DDD in the early Kirby games is actually generally pretty straightforward. This one, they gave him a few more attacks than the original, but not much. No power, it's a bit of a slow fight, but it's not super hard. And apparently he can be manipulated to an extent. There we go. I will say, if it goes right into the last boss, I'll probably just play. Okay. Looks like it's not. So, oh, no it is. It is going straight into it. We don't have a good time to stop. So, I'm gonna continue playing here. I actually... First of all, the story here, aspect here. This is the first time... I mean, it's only the second Kirby game, and we already see DDD is actually trying to be a good guy here. And Kirby accidentally releases this weird ancient evil. DDD gives Kirby the Star Rod back, and then enter part 1. So we suddenly have a really awesome, like, Gradius-style boss fight here, where we have to shoot stars and fly around. As is the rule with all bullet hell games, keep firing and focus on defense. I wish that there was a little bit more interesting music for this. Because it is a rather long section here. Ugh. twice, which isn't the end of the world. Where is he? Apparently, there's a timer. Wow. Okay, well, it's a good thing I've got this full 0 lives left. I thought I was playing it pretty well, too. So I guess I'm going to be a little more aggressive. I was only one hit off last time, but still, like... Okay. This is exactly why I was planning on this being another video unto itself, but it looks like we'll just have one long video here at the end. That's okay. As long as we don't have to watch the cutscene every time. Okay, so we've got 5 more lives. Let's give this a go. If I can at least get to phase 2, this is the first phase of the boss. So if I can get to phase 2, I'm okay with having low health going in, so I can, you know, have that as the starting point, as long as I don't burn all my lives in the process. Apparently, well, I was playing way better when I wasn't thinking about it, as per usual. I'm doing way worse than I was the first time, I'm pretty sure. One hit again, and it makes you go through this whole animation. Okay. Well, apparently I have a thing with last bosses that I used to be able to wreck as a kid. Because I never remember having this much problem with this boss. I feel like I'm missing something, like there's a charge shot or something that I should be doing, but I don't think there is. Phase 2. On the moon. So we're still going to be using the Star Rod as our power here. And we face this crazy shadow boss. I think it's actually... Looks like he's gonna take about... I'm gonna guess he's gonna take about 12 hits. You can only hit him while that tornado section is exposed. And if you do hit him, he usually goes into a stun loop, or a stun animation, so you can interrupt his attacks that way. Okay, so it looks like actually you can hit him with the Star Rod itself, too. You don't have to hit him with the projectiles. Which is way easier with some of these attacks he's doing. Does mix his attacks up a lot too. There's like a lot of different attack patterns he's used here, which is, again, for the NES, there's a lot of animation going on here, and it's a lot of different attack patterns that shift halfway through the battle. Crap. Okay, now we find out the important part. Okay, good. We start at this point. What? Was he not actually taking damage from the... Okay, maybe he wasn't taking damage from this one. It's just a defensive thing. This projectile seems to be doing way more damage. Either projectiles do way more damage, or you have to hit them with projectiles first or something here, because that is not working the same way it was. There we go. I do like the fact that while it's kind of annoying that you don't actually get to use the powers you've been using the whole game against the boss, it's also kind of neat because, well, for a couple reasons. This is a much more interesting fight than it would have been, because if you had to keep grabbing powers, whenever you get hit when you have a power normally, you lose the power, it shoots off as the star. There we go. Hopefully that was the last form. I think it is. There we go. Maybe? If I remember right, this is like blows a hole in the moon or something? Yeah. Which is kind of cool. So, that was the last boss of Kirby's Dreamland, or Kirby's Adventure, sorry. And this is when DDD kind of makes a face turn from the first game. That while he and Kirby don't always get along, they DDD still wants Dreamland to be safe. DDD foiled the nightmare. Kirby accidentally set it free. You know. I actually really like this. This is kind of a trope that gets reused in Super Mario RPG with, you know, I mean, down to finding the stars, where, you know, you end up having Bowser come with you because at the end of the day, if there's a bigger bad out there, Bowser can't conquer anything. So yeah, that was Kirby's Adventure. Not 100% run, but I feel like this is good enough for this, and I know they're not super long videos, but they would have been a lot longer if we had to run around looking for the right power-ups to break certain blocks. So, and all the crazy hidden doors, because there's a lot of crazy hidden doors. So yeah, hopefully you did enjoy it. We'll let the credits roll of the computer doing really neat tricks that we never got to do in the game. This is probably my second favorite Kirby game. I am a Superstar is by far my favorite. I think it is what I think of when I think of Kirby, because it has all the cool powers, several different modes that kind of get reused in other Kirby games later and stuff. It had a lot of cool prototypes for ideas, and I would have loved to see more Kirby games like it, and I don't feel like we ever really got a lot of other Kirby games like it, or that even like some of the modes. Like all the other ones seem like they kind of try and do something weird more recently, especially with a lot of the design. And there haven't been a ton of Kirby platformers that I'm aware of. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that. That came after Superstar. I know there have been a few, but I don't feel like there's been many. Which is too bad, because Kirby's a really neat franchise, and there's so much room for creativity with even just the basic power-ups. I would love to see it. I think I talked about this a little at the end of Kirby Superstar, but I do really wish that there was a mode that was a little bit more either like a Metroidvania style thing, or like a oh yeah, honestly, just like a Metroidvania style Kirby game where you could collect powers and then travel across the world, or had to travel across the map to open new areas or something. It would be a good fit for the genre. Or even like Adventure Island 2, where it's kind of like a combination platformer Metroidvania, or Demon's Crest. Both of which are great games and are on my list to play at some point. Because they're really neat, and they're games most people haven't even heard of. Or that most people haven't heard of, aren't aware of what kind of game they are. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. If you have any games you'd like to see me play, mention those in the comments too. I know most of you are probably watching this off my Facebook anyway, so you can always reply in some other way, but you know, if on the rare chance that someone made it to the end of this video series and isn't, feel free to leave a comment there. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Hope you enjoyed Kirby's Adventure, and as always, have a good one.